Good morning. It is November 6th and it is not quite 7 a.m. and I am up and crafting, and I thought that I would check in with you for my basically 1 week update on my basics course with the Knitting Guild Association. And I'm Heidi from Modern Bygone, and obviously haven't had enough coffee yet because I'm forgetting to introduce myself. Good morning. And I'm just realizing I'm using the exact same coffee cup that I was in my last video. It's one of my favorites. So I have finished knitting my preliminary swatch. I've finished knitting my preliminary swatch and answered my questions for that. I did block my swatch and had it all set up in my binder and had it in my sleeve protector and everything. And then I came back this morning and discovered, I don't know if you can see this, there's a lot of moisture in that sleeve protector. Yeah, I didn't let it dry all the way. So I took it out. And I have reblocked my swatch. So it is back on the blocking board. And it is upside down. The right side is towards my blocking mat today because this side was very, very wet. And I wanted to give it some air and let it air out and dry. So my preliminary swatch is back on the blocking mat, and this time I will be patient and let it sit for longer than a day, maybe. My plan today is to get my first official swatch is also done, and I need to get that one blocked and answer my questions for it this weekend. And I'll be doing that one. I'll probably get this one blocked later this afternoon and then answer my questions and things like that during craft time tomorrow. And I will let it sit longer than a day to dry because I am impatient and I want it to be done. I have not cast on yet for swatch number 2. That one is knit 1, purl 1 ribbing, and some increases. I'd like to practice my increases because this one is actually using increases that I haven't done, and I'm not sure how good my tension is going to be on those. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to practice those on a tester, and then I'll actually start doing my swatch for that one. So I should have that one done by next week's video. I have also been working on a color blocked tank top, and the pattern is Silver Spring Tank by Wise Knits. I found it on their website, and I am using some Audine wools by Knit Crate. I got it in my subscription. It's not a color that I would normally choose for myself, but oh, it is dreamy to knit with. It is super soft. So I'm excited to do some nice, solid, thick color blocking all the way up the tank top. I guess basically giant horizontal stripes. But I'm excited to have that be a color down at the bottom. And so I have pulled all of my worsted weight yarns and into a tub, and I'm just going to kind of grab and go and create some color blocking for a tank. I'm usually pretty overheated at work, so I try not to wear things with sleeves as much as possible. So I thought it would be nice to be able to knit myself some professional shirts, and I'd like to be able to find a pattern that I can use reliably for sizing and be able to then go back and change the stitch patterns and things like that, and make myself a little set of different tanks that I can wear to work that are professional and have wide enough sleeves. Sorry about the crinkling. I'm trying to get my page protector to stand up so that it'll dry. But something that has a wide enough sleeve at the top. So like I can't just wear these tank tops because they don't have a wide enough top. So I've got to make sure I've got a wider shoulder strap. Let's see, other projects this week. I really haven't done much. It's been a busy week. I have managed to work a little bit here and there during the work week. And then my craft time in the mornings has been limited. My husband was furloughed for some days. And so rather than come and hide in my workroom, I actually spent the morning drinking coffee with him instead. So I didn't get much done this week, but that's okay. I am excited to move on to swatch number 2. And there are a total of 5 swatches in the first module for the basics, plus an extra credit. So I think I'm going to attempt to do that one. I ended up getting 3 new books this week, which I'm excited. Oh, there they are. I put out the word on Facebook that I was looking for knitting reference books. I'd rather buy secondhand if possible. And I had one person respond, and so I got a Stitch and Bitch Superstar Knitting Go Beyond the Basics. Got that one secondhand. It's got some really nice little designs in there. It's got some beyond beginner increases and decreases. It's got a couple of patterns in here that I actually probably will try. So I'm excited for that one. And then I was doing research for the Knitting Guild, trying to see what kind of books they recommended. And I ordered The Big Book of Knitting by Katharina Boos off of Amazon. And this one it's not very thick, but man, has it got a lot of information, like so much. And it has so much great illustrations and information, and this is just jam-packed. So I'm excited to sit and look at this one. The other one that I got was the Vogue Knitting Ultimate Knitting Book. And I literally sat down and read this one the night that it came in. So this one also has like just a crazy amount of information, like tiny font, had to wear my glasses, lots and lots of designing areas and different instructions and how to read charts, which I don't know how to do. I'm still working on that. So I was very excited to get this one. Definitely having fun expanding my knitting library for reference materials. Hoping to get some more going in there as soon as possible. I am working on learning to read knitting charts. I've been knitting for 20 years now, and I'm completely self-taught except for the basic of a knit stitch, a purl stitch, the knit cast on, and the knit bind off. I was taught those by a lady at the local yarn store that has since closed down. And the rest of it, it's all been through books and YouTube and finding friends who knit and things like that. So learning new skills has always been really fun for me, and I'm excited for it. Learning to read charts has somehow missed me. I don't have any friends who knit that read charts. They all read written directions like I do. I understand the concept of charts, but when it comes down to actually working off of them, I have a really hard time with it. So I think probably am going to be spending a little more time practicing with reading charts and working directly off of them. I can translate them, so I can read them and I can translate it into a written pattern. Like I know how to read them, but without taking the time to write down that this is what that line means, and now I need to do this, and then this line is that. My brain just hasn't made that connection yet. So I am working on reading charts. I'm working on swatch number 2. I'm working on my color block tank, which is just super simple stockinette at this point. So this is my mindless knitting. The TV is on in the evening. I don't have to pay attention to it, and I can just go and not even look at my hands. It's always good to have a project like that. It was really nice yesterday. I got to wear a pair of my knitted socks for the first time in the season. It finally got cold enough to wear some wool socks in my boots. I run pretty warm, so I don't wear my wool socks very often. It's got to be pretty cold for me to be able to do that. And it was finally cold enough yesterday, and I put them on under my boots, and then I was roasting all day long at work. I dress for the weather, and then I get to work and realize that my classroom is temperature controlled and very warm and full of 12-year-olds. So it's difficult to wear warm clothing and not overheat all day long in the classroom. But that's okay. It works for me. My coworkers all complain that they're cold, and I'm the only one over there in a tank top and being like, I am roasting alive. But that's okay. I'll survive. What else is happening this week? I'm going to ignore everything political, so we're not going to go there. Yeah. Knitting. I haven't quilted anything this week. I started a quilting project last month where I was making random blocks using different skills. I learned how to paper piece, and I was doing different kinds of piecing and different kinds of designs that I hadn't done before. Basically a big sampler quilt. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen pictures of my quilting blocks. I started them last month, and I was doing about one a week, and then I decided to join the Knitting Guild, and so I haven't really picked it up since then, but I'm looking forward to getting back into both of them. As you can see, I kind of a little ADHD, and so I knit a project, everything all at once, and I've got 17 of them going all at the same time, and that's just how I process things. So I've got some quilting blocks that I'm working on. What I'm doing is I'm doing the smaller blocks for my center pieces, and then I'm log cabining out until it's a 12.5-inch block. And so I've got that one, and then all of them are going to be outlined with this lovely lilac purple color. I am a scrap quilter, so I don't purposefully go out and purchase materials for quilts. I make do with what I have. I buy a lot of secondhand fabric, and I buy a lot of fat quarters, and so everything is very, very, very scrappy and may or may not match. These blocks all happen to have some of this gray pattern that I put together that I had in a little fat quarter kit, and so those ones all have that in it. This one does not. This one is all reds and some Christmas fabrics that I found. So plan to get back to that this week. Maybe do 1 or 2 blocks. I need to finish log cabining this one out to the 12.5 inches, And then I also need to finish log cabining this one out to the 12.5 inches. And then I'm gonna look and see which block I want to do next. So we'll find out. I have some English paper piecing hexagons that I had started months and months and months ago and put down. I may pull those out and do a little English paper piecing applique for the next block, just because I have those started, and it would be nice to get them onto something instead of just sitting in a bin on my shelf. So if you are enjoying me blathering way too early in the morning, I'd love to have you subscribe and see you again next week. If you are interested in more tutorials, I have done a couple of them. I haven't done any for months because 2020, honestly, I just haven't done any. I'd like to start doing those again. So if you're interested in some tutorials, definitely let me know what you'd like to see. Let me know in the comments, what are you working on this week? Are you a knitter or a quilter or crafter of some sort? And what kind of projects are you working on? I do post daily pictures of my craft time projects and what I worked on that day over on Instagram with @modernbygone. I'm also on Facebook for @modernbygone, so you'll see my daily pictures there as well. And of course here with Modern Bygone Crafts. All right, guys, it is time for me to go and actually get ready for work. The sun is just starting to crest, and I'm gonna go teach some 12-year-olds. All right, guys, have a wonderful week, and I will see you again next week, hopefully with swatch number 2 done, swatch number 1 blocked and fully dried, and I'm hoping to get some of the quilting blocks moving along in their process as well. So I will see you next Friday. All right, bye, guys. Have a good week.